What's up, folks? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. It is Sunday. It is September 23rd. It is 11:01 a.m. I am a little bit late from the other live stream. Of course, the VR Roundtable show that we had earlier today had to run a quick little errand there, so unfortunately that did delay me a little bit. But, you know, we're starting pretty much at our normal daily time of 11 a.m. Pacific. This is typically when we did start. I do have some apologies today because I don't really have anything lined up in terms of stories, trailers, news, anything like that. So basically this is just going to be kind of a little Sunday fun day, a little party of VR gaming. We can talk about stuff that we're playing, you know, stuff that we're into lately, what is going on, if there's any news stories or anything that is going on. Yeah, I do not have a donate button. Sorry about that. Don't worry, all of that stuff will come soon enough. We will get that situated soon enough. Remember, we are going to be moving to a new channel pretty soon here. I have my new logo. I do not have an intro outro yet, so that's what I'm waiting on in terms of moving over to a new channel. We'll be doing that in the near future. Let's see what else is going on here. You know, I do have a trailer for something, and this is actually courtesy of Paradise Decay at EGX. He was checking out some new games and stuff, and I did see a trailer for a game called Vanguard Fight for Rudiarius. So we can check that out. But let me go ahead and do let me do my normal intro first. We'll do an early intro, kind of unusual for us. Oh, you know what? I have my volume turned way the hell down. That's the problem. So you guys are probably getting blasted by loud sounds there, because I had my volume turned way down because of the VR Roundtable podcast. I don't like it to bleed into the mic, so I turn it like incredibly down. And then when I come to do this podcast, everything is quiet as hell, so I pump the volume way the hell up. You guys are probably getting blown away by that compound trailer. My apologies for that. Okay, so yeah, today is Sunday. It is September 23rd. This is the daily vlog, I believe, episode 210 now. So we are now up to episode 210 of the daily vlog live. This is Sunday. And, you know, so we'll see what happens as far as that goes. Let me throw on a different trailer, though, now that we're back into this. I'll throw on a rando trailer real quick. Chiaro and the Elixr of Life. Why don't I put that trailer? I feel bad for Chiaro and the Elixr of Life because I didn't really give this game a fair shake and got a chance to play this game and then just got absolutely hammered by a million other games, and this one just like slipped into the cracks. Definitely feel bad for Chiaro and the Elixr of Life because that is a pretty cool game. Okay, so Prince Alexander in chat says, Anthony, are you sticking to the same format with the new channel? Yeah, as far as I know, I'm just going to stick with this same old deal. This is pretty much the deal that I am able to do on a daily basis. See, I can just turn this camera on, turn these lights on over here, have this mic running, and I can hop on here and just make a show out of nothing, pretty much is what I could do. I could put on some miscellaneous trailers. We could take a look at the Vive subreddit, the Oculus subreddit, see if there's any new stories going on. I could see what people are talking about in chat, and we could just go ahead and do that. D.Fierce continues to talk about VR porn. It's the only thing I've ever heard D.Fierce mention. VR porn, VR porn, VR porn. And my suggestion for D.Fierce, like this is a straight up legit suggestion, bro, get yourself something called the Oculus Go. Get yourself an Oculus Go. It is $199, and download a program called Amaze 3D. And while it technically isn't porn, it is damn close. Some of those videos are damn close. You will actually be blown away, D.Fierce. Trust me, you will be blown away by some of the videos that you can see in Amaze 3D on an Oculus Go. You will see women that are standing inches away from you, dancing and gyrating, doing all these fantastic maneuvers, and it looks like they are right there. It really looks like they're right there. So definitely check that out. Try that out. Amaze 3D doesn't impress me, not even on high quality. I've been impressed with some of the video quality that I've seen. I mean, it really looks, to me, the 180 videos, not the 360 stuff, the 180 videos. You know that, what's that, Gia, there's some kind of video with some girl that's like into fitness. She's like always talking about how to eat healthy and how to do these different exercises. It's like Body by Gia or something like that. Okay, Body by Gia is in the Amaze 3D thing. And for me, when I try that, I mean, it looks crystal clear. She looks like she's right there. You know, she's like in a kitchen or something and she's looking at the refrigerator and talking about like, you don't want to eat this, you want to eat that, you want to work out like this, you want to do that. And I'm like, man, this chick looks like she is right here in my living room. I thought it was pretty cool. That is Amaze 3D. I'm just trying to help out D.Fierce. You know, D.Fierce really wants some VR porn. That's what he's into. So I'm trying to help my boy out. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so Hybrid Energy and Bullet Ape are talking about how they're not that impressed with the Amaze 3D. Or no, wait, Hybrid Energy says, yes, Bullet Ape, that duck thing is ugly, like a metal destroyer rubber ducky. That is Chiaro and the Elixr of Life. And I forget what the name of this little duck thing is that you deal with in this game. But I need to get back into the game. I thought the world is kind of... It's very colorful, it's magical, it's kind of a dreamlike world. Not too bad, quite expensive though. I believe $30, I think, for Chiaro and the Elixr of Life. $30, which is kind of crazy. Especially when we're talking about games like Windlands 2, and we're talking about games like Transference, and we got Creed Rise to Glory this Tuesday. I have actually tried Creed Rise to Glory. I have played Creed Rise to Glory. I cannot talk about it. I will be talking about that on Tuesday on the release day. But yeah, lots of stuff to get into next week. Of course, we do have Oculus Connect 5. It is coming up next week. And there's definitely some interesting stuff in regards to Oculus Connect 5. Like, what is going to happen there? Do you guys have predictions? Do you believe we're going to get a price for Santa Cruz? Do you believe we're going to get a date for Santa Cruz? Do you believe we will see anything about CV2 whatsoever? Do you think we will get a date for Defector? Is Defector a 2019 game? Prince Alexander says, Creed, time to put on your tank top. No, I think we'll take a break on the tank top stuff. You know what? I got to take a bite. This is Fuji apple. Beautiful, wonderful. This is part of my breakfast. Probably not a good idea to eat an apple during a live stream, though. I probably should have something that I slurp with a straw. Okay, Phil Yarn says Santa Cruz, Defector, and Stormlands. He wants a date for both of those. Oh, he's saying Santa Cruz, Defector, and Stormlands. He would like dates and prices for all three, probably. Santa Cruz, if you guys were on the VR Roundtable live stream, my prediction is $599 US, late March 2019. That's my prediction for Santa Cruz. I know I'm coming in a bit high there on the price. Everybody else, I think, predicted $499, but I'm hoping for that Snapdragon 435. That is my hope. I hope that it comes in pretty kind of high end. I'm hoping for that. The Rex Terra says he hopes they show off the Half Dome again and maybe some more additional information on Half Dome. I wonder, I wonder if Oculus is going to come out and officially say, look, we're not bringing out CV2 in 2019, folks. I mean, I wonder if they might, maybe they'll say early 2020 or something. I wonder if that will flash on the screen for Oculus CV2. Wonder if they'll give us any kind of a hint. Don't think about CV2 next year. Next year is the year of Santa Cruz, and then we will go to CV2 in 2020. I wonder if Oculus will do that, or if they'll just like not even mention that. Let's see, in chat, Bullet Ape says they need to not be calling it Half Dome for too long. And Jim Hall says, rather Santa Cruz is priced higher with better features. And Tezram says, do they call it the Half Dome because they can't look behind? Another thing I'm wondering too is in regards to CV2. See, Scion is saying CV2, CV2, CV2. We need CV2. We can actually go back to Palmer Luckey way back in the beginning. Excuse me. Way back in the beginning, didn't Palmer Luckey say, this was back when he was working with Oculus and everything was good, didn't Palmer Luckey say something like, we're going to get new headsets faster than we get new consoles, but slower than we get phones? Like you get a new phone every single year. We get new consoles usually every 5 to 6 years is when we get new consoles. So we're kind of on target, honestly, for a CV2. We really are on target. Like if 2019 was a release of CV2, I don't think it would be a shocker of shockers. We're on target for that. But my opinion is if we're all about Santa Cruz, if Santa Cruz is a product that is much more ready to go, I think they're going to go down the Santa Cruz road. And I think you bring both of them out the same year. I don't know. I think it's kind of a bad idea, because I think you're selling to a lot of the same enthusiasts. All of us that are super into Santa Cruz, we're probably super into CV2. And if you're super into CV2, you're probably kind of super into Santa Cruz as well. And each of them might be in the $500 range. Are you going to buy two of them in the same calendar year? I don't think that's going to happen. So that's why I think CV2 might be pushed off to the side a little bit. Let's see what we're talking about in Santa Cruz. What we're talking about in chat. Paradise Decay says they need to promote Santa Cruz first. Noel DBZ, Dragon Ball Z 2. Anthony, love the show. Don't change a thing. Love the rawness. He loves the rawness of the show, which, yeah, this show is raw. It is unscripted. Sometimes I do have news stories. Sometimes I do have trailers to go to. But yeah, a lot of this show is kind of just by the seat of my pants, which some people like that. Some people just don't like that. They want everything to be dialed in and like edited properly and all of that. Chris says, I wonder if Pimax are making Oculus and HTC sweat because of the FOV. Gen 2 can't be less than a minimum of 150, but 180 would be great. It certainly is going to put pressure on it. Oculus and HTC, up to this point in time, they have been able to kind of dodge a lot of the pressure that Pimax. You guys might remember with Xbox. Remember I said there's no pressure. There's no pressure on Microsoft to bring out a VR platform for Xbox, that Microsoft dodged a bullet. There's no pressure on them. Well, it's been the same thing for Oculus and for HTC. There's been no pressure from Pimax because it hasn't really been available. It's a news story on the subreddits. It's a news story on Upload VR. It's a news story on Road to VR. It's a news story for us enthusiasts. But your average everyday Joe Blow out there probably knows zip about Pimax 5K plus, 8K, doesn't know anything about this. And the reality is, although the pre-orders are going to start supposedly in October for all the non-Kickstarter backers that want to get their hands on a 5K plus or an 8K or any of these other things, they're likely not to be shipping this stuff until early in 2019. And then when is there going to be absolute regular availability for these things where anybody and everybody can grab them? That might not happen until late spring 2019. So Oculus and HTC, they're kind of dodging a bullet. They haven't had that pressure really been heaped on them. However, when we get to the year 2019 and Pimax is readily available and people everywhere can go ahead and grab the Pimax, that's going to be a situation where pressure is going to start to be applied if more and more people start to see this huge FOV. And then Oculus is like, well, we got something called the Half Dome. It's 140 degrees, field of view. It's definitely a much bigger field of view. It's the same size headset, so it's nice and compact. That's a bonus. But we don't have this gigantic FOV. So is the pressure going to be there? We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Let's see. So, Andrew Rogers says, is someone else taking on VR game rankings? If not, why the need for a new channel? Just asking. You don't have to answer if the reason is private. No, Andrew, I can be straight up and honest with you. Honestly, what it is I am unable to monetize this channel. And that's not really a big deal in the grand scheme of things, because monetization, you're talking pennies. You know, it would help me buy a couple of extra games here or there. It might help me buy like a motherboard or something, like upgrade a motherboard or upgrade my memory or something here or there. That's the only thing that monetization would do if I could monetize this channel. I cannot monetize this channel. The other reason too is VR Game Rankings. I don't know that VR Game Rankings is the ideal name to have a VR show on YouTube. I mean, VR Game Rankings is the name of the website, and I'm still all about VR Game Rankings. And even when I have this new channel, it's going to be presented by VR Game Rankings, and VR Game Rankings is still the brand, basically. Hybrid Energy says, why can't I monetize? It has to do with when I first started this channel, I have kids, right? And my kids, like, somebody might have been watching one of my episodes on another computer in another YouTube account, and it just got all messed up. It got all messed up. Apparently, the way you're supposed to do this is if you have a YouTube channel, you are never supposed to watch your videos in anybody else's account. So what you need to do is you need to go into like a private browser and watch your YouTube videos, or you need to be signed in as VR Game Rankings and watch your videos on that channel. Something got screwed up, something got messed up, and I cannot monetize this channel. It's a long story. I had somebody helping me with it. They were going to try to look into it, and they're like, no, man, we can fix it. It's not a big deal. And then they looked into it and they said, nah, you can't fix it. You need to start a new channel. And I was like, well, I kind of need a new name anyway, because VR Game Rankings, it's fine for the website, but I don't know that it's kind of a mouthful to have a YouTube channel, VR Game Rankings. And the show was called The Daily Vlog. I always thought I needed a new name for the show. So anyway, that's all of that. Tezram says, I want to donate pennies. Well, you might be able to on this new channel when it gets monetized. I can do super chat. And so you could donate like $5. Like we just did a VR Roundtable live stream, and somebody downloaded, I think John Bardo or I forget who it was, but somebody downloaded, somebody donated $5 via super chat. And so I can also set up super chat and all of that. So don't worry about that, guys. We don't need to worry about any of that. I'm going to continue banging this show out every single day and just keep doing it. And I'm not really worried about monetization. I'm not worried about Patreon. I'm not worried about all of that. So don't worry about that. There will be an opportunity to do that at some point. Now, VR Mania Q says, I believe they adopt Half Dome 140 degrees to Santa Cruz. Yeah, I mean, who knows what we're going to get in Santa Cruz? The final version of Santa Cruz, though, if they really do have a final version of Santa Cruz, what I want to see is, like, do they have lenses on the, do they have 2 lenses on the outside? Can we get some stereoscopic pass-through? Will it have possible AR support? Will it have any of that? I'm kind of curious about that. We know it's going to have 6 degrees of freedom on the headset and on the controllers. Will there be eye tracking? Probably doubtful, but maybe, maybe not. One of the cool things about when a company like Oculus makes a decision and finalizes a product, like when they have Santa Cruz finalized and it is what it is, and this is what we're putting out, and this is what it's going to have, they're locked in. They're locked in for multiple years. Santa Cruz likely will have a lifespan of potentially 3 years, of a major lifespan of about 3 years. So let's say Santa Cruz comes out March 2019. Then Santa Cruz can be a pretty major product for all of 2019, for all of 2020, and maybe for part of 2021. And then we'll probably have somebody lost audio. Okay, well, everything's good as far as I can see here. Okay, so anyway, maybe in 2021, they will replace Santa Cruz. So Santa Cruz probably has about a 3-year lifespan, which is probably what the Oculus Go has as well. You know, it's probably going to be a viable thing for about 3 years, and then they'll have something to replace it. But what happens is they're locked in. Like the Oculus Go has what it has. It is locked in. It is 3 degrees of freedom. They can't add something onto it. It doesn't have pass-through. They can't add that on. It is locked in. And so I'm very curious to see when we get the finalized situation with Santa Cruz, we'll know what they're locked in on, what it has and what it doesn't have, and what they're stuck with for possibly around 3 years. That's why I'm really hoping for that Snapdragon 435. So T-Dub had a dodgy headphone connection. Now he is all good. Hybrid says Santa Cruz, HD 3200 Intel graphics and Athlon 64. It can run Minecraft at 24 frames at 30 hertz. We're good till 2025. And I Am Rut says, I like the Magic Leap Puck idea for the hardware. Would be nice to see it implemented into VR so that you can make headsets super lightweight. That would be cool. Because, you know, one problem that we have with VR is it's hard to drink a glass of water or something while you're wearing that VR headset because it extends out and you try to drink a glass of water, it bumps into your headset. You can't really eat food with the headset on. I'm looking forward to a day when the headsets are so small we can drink water, we can eat food, and then maybe they can track our food and make it look better and make it taste better because it's tricking our eyes that the food looks so much better than it ever was. Scion VR says there's a wonderful invention. It is called the straw. It is a wonderful invention, and if you want to enjoy some beer while you're in VR, get yourself a nice long straw and you will be in the mix. Hybrid Energy says that's what straws are for, so unless you're in California where you go to prison for straws, they work. Yeah, California is a bit of an oddball in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas. Okay, so I do have a trailer that I can throw on here. Never seen this before, and this is courtesy of Paradise Decay. Paradise Decay was at EGX. Have you guys seen his new video? It's pretty cool because I never saw Paradise like visually, like what he looks like and stuff. I thought all of his videos were mostly just him talking, but he has a new EGX video where he's at EGX. Here he is. Yeah, this is one of the trailers that, let's check this out and we can talk about it when it's over.
Galaxy. Now, several millennia later, the Roman rulers of the stars are the architects of the galactic arena, where the ancient traditions of gladiatorial combat are still played out for their entertainment. Enslaved frontline warriors from fallen worlds, known as Vanguards, are forced to do battle to the death to regain their honor, their glory, and a chance to win the ultimate prize, freedom. Vanguard, the cross-platform multiplayer game. Play on PC, play on mobile, play in VR. Win your freedom. Vanguard, join the team, shape the game. Centuries ago,
I muted. I forgot I muted myself. Okay, let me turn this down a little bit. So yeah, this is Vanguard Fight for the Rudiarians or something like that. And this is cross-platform. It's a cross-platform multiplayer game. So this is probably going to be available on Oculus Go and on PC. And looks kind of cool. I mean, obviously we can tell the graphics have kind of been reduced quite a bit because, you know, it's designed to work on mobile. So you might be able to play this on your Go and on your Rift and on Steam. Multi-platform. Looks kind of cool. Don't know too much about this. It looks like it's kind of trying to compete a little bit with what In Space. You know, we got In Space already, but this is looking to have the cross-platform play. So that looks kind of cool. And Paradise says you can sign up for the beta for this already. So it's already there. Conrad Lawrence says no sound. Oh yeah, I muted myself for a minute there because I was enjoying some Apple. I didn't want you guys to hear all the crunchies, so sorry about that. Tablets too, yeah, you can play this in flat mode as well.
What if their empire never fell? What if they ruled over the entire planet? And then
what if?
The galaxy. Now, several millennia later, the Roman rulers of the stars...
Yeah, looks kind of cool. So there is that one. It plays like in space, but with better controls, says Paradise Decay. So, and Tezram says, I don't understand VR games that also support on pancake platforms. Well, for the developer, they don't want to limit their audience. So if they say, look, you can play this in flat, you can play this in VR, you can play this mobile, you can play this on the PC. Basically what they're doing here is they want to be able to sell it to everybody. They don't want to cut off a huge segment of their market, so they're just trying to do that. But Tezram says, I feel these kinds of VR games get dumbed down because they do have this flat game. They have to make the game work in flat version as well, and so that does affect it a little bit. Hybrid Energy says Transference is also pancake, but I wouldn't even know that unless I read it, so I don't mind. Yeah, you know what would be truly bizarre? It would be really bizarre to play Transference in flat mode. Like, what kind of game would that be? Transference is a VR game, man. That's the way it should be. And but you can play it in flat mode. I've never personally tried that, but that would be super, super interesting. Super weird, really. Okay, so, whoops, let's see here. I don't think I have any other trailers that I have lined up already. Yeah, I didn't have anything lined up for today. So we'll basically just have to put on a miscellaneous trailer, and we can get into any kind of topics that anybody wants to get into. This is Sunday Fun Day. Don't really have anything scheduled. I'll go ahead and put on this Accounting Plus trailer because Bullet Ape is saying Accounting Plus soon will be available on PC. 3 times as much content. Can't wait. Bullet Ape, what do you think is a fair price for Accountant? What do you think is a fair price for Accounting Plus? Like 15, 14 bucks, 15 bucks, 10 bucks? Some people have complained that the regular accounting is like 15 minutes of content, and so 3 times that is 45 minutes of content, which is still not a hell of a lot, but it is interesting. So yeah, Bullet Ape is saying 15 bucks. I Am Rhett says 10 bucks. That's kind of the range I would expect it to. Tezram said, does that mean that Transferent does not use VR controllers? It just means if you're playing the flat version, I guess you could use like an Xbox 360 controller to control it somehow. It must figure out that you're using, you're playing the flat mode, and so it kind of just alters the way it works, I believe. And Scion VR is also reporting that Carnage Chronicles is a 4-player co-op now. That's a game I got to get into. There's so many games I need to revisit because they've been updating things. Like, for example, on October 2nd, In Death has that major update coming through. You know, Carnage Chronicles has this major update that it just did. There's a bunch of other games I can't remember. Like, I know Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades has some updates that are going on. Chris Gould says, shout out for Primordian. I downloaded this yesterday on sale. Man, this is one hell of a beautiful game. The best looking game in VR, period. Seeking Dawn, stand aside. That is a really good post there from Chris Gould. Yeah, I've talked about Primordian a number of times, and the one thing I've said about Primordian, I think it's absolutely perfect for a VR arcade. Like, if you just wanted to put somebody in 10 minutes of an audio visual tour de force, that's kind of Primordian. Primordian is an audio visual tour de force, just in terms of like you are on an alien world. It really feels like a Predator movie or Avatar or something. The jungle is really good, and then you get into the slow motion battles with these incredible looking enemies that you have to deal with, and it goes, you know, it's going super slow-mo, and it's like you're really inside of a movie. But after a while, it kind of overstays its welcomes in terms of like the combat. And this is what Bullet Ape is talking about here. He says, has the fighting in Primordian got better? Really didn't like the combat. I know the dev has updated the combat to a degree, and I believe the collision detection and stuff is a little bit better. But the one thing about Primordian is you kind of get in there and you start fighting these guys, and it really becomes a situation where you just have to battle the guy for a while, and then you get your shot in, you decapitate him, the head goes flying, he falls over, everything is in super slow-mo, and it looks super cool and sounds super cool. But the combat does get a bit tedious after a while. Now, you do get some ranged weapons. There's other things to battle. There's other creatures that you can shoot at and stuff. And so, you know, it's interesting. But Primordian is a game that is kind of unraveling over time. So, like, if you buy Primordian now, you're kind of buying it for what it has at this moment, and you're hoping that more and more stuff gets added onto it. Yeah, basically one dude did it. He was in our chat yesterday. I believe he used to work for Blizzard, and he's the one that created Primordian. And Bullet Ape says if one dude did that, that is incredible. And it really is. It truly is incredible. Very much a tour de force, graphically, a very powerful tour de force. But you know what? Let's go over... I can check out the subreddits real quick, because I know... I believe the dev of Primordian was in the Vive subreddit saying something about something. So let's go over to the Vive subreddit real quick, and let's just see what some people are talking about. So the number one upvoted thing here is the Half-Life leaks, and Valve is making games. This is this video, Valve Catch-Up. It's honestly, it is rumors and innuendo. It is a lot of little rumors they believe could possibly be pointing to Left 4 Dead VR or possibly Half-Life VR. You know, these are some of the rumors that are going around. I watched this a little bit, but I thought it was very, like, based on a lot of tiny little things. So I don't know that I read a lot into this. If anybody disagrees in chat, go ahead and speak up about it. But I don't know that, like, this is a lot of rumors, so I don't really get into it too much. We've got Jet Island, a great app for the physics experience. We talked about Jet Island on VR Roundtable just today, you know, on our earlier episode. And a lot of the other guys on the panel, Chris and Steve and Gary, weren't super into it. I still think it's pretty cool. It's just, God, is it bad timing. It's just bad timing for a lot of these other games because there's just a lot of power going on right now. Let's see. Here's one. Anyone knows a VR game like Firewatch? Wouldn't we like to see a Firewatch port to VR? That would be pretty freaking cool. Virtual Championship Fighting, a no-buy. Looks kind of chaotic to me. Oh, Primordian is on sale, so that's why it was in the news. Let me see what it says in here. Primordian is 25% off. And somebody in here says, seriously, doesn't look like my GTX 970 could handle it. What's performance like? Hey, man, it runs fine on my GTX 970. It's surprisingly, it seems like the kind of game that wouldn't run. It's $15. So you can grab Primordian for $15. So not a bad deal there if you've never had your hands on Primordian. I think it's worth $15 just for great demo material, a really good game to put somebody in. You got a buddy that only plays flat games. They've never tried VR. What you could do is you could get Primordian up and running, get into a nice spot in the jungle, and then say, okay, here, put this on and just walk through this jungle and just check out the jungle, because it is really impressive from that standpoint. Border Patrol demo, we got some people talking about that, and not much else is going on over here. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce back over to chat, and then I will go to the Oculus subreddits over here, and we'll see if there's any news on that. We can go ahead and bounce over to that in a second, but let's see what people are talking about in chat. Let's see. Chris Gould says, it can be a waggle fest if you play it that way. I think he's talking about the combat. Yeah, the combat could be just like, you could basically just go like this, and then you end up chopping the guy's head off. So it does go a little bit like that. Tesram says, I don't think Left 4 Dead is one of those 3 Valve titles. They said they were making 3 games, not reusing. But what I'm talking about in regards to Left 4 Dead is, like, if you go to where this guy is talking about all these rumors and stuff, it might actually be pointing towards a Left 4 Dead, because it's kind of pointing to, like, zombies and stuff. And so it's like, well, what Valve game has zombies? Well, Left 4 Dead is the obvious zombies game. I Am Rut says Jet Island is amazing, which, yeah, it's a good game. It's a great game. Jet Island for me is a great chill out experience, just chilling out and exploring this island, and just kind of like Tony Hawk, like being a skater. That's kind of what I do in Jet Island. I haven't even messed with the bosses. I'm assuming I Am Ruts that you've actually like messed with the bosses and tried some other things, and you probably know even more about how good Jet Island is when you start messing with the bosses and all of that. Hybrid Energy says, welcome to the jungle. We've got VR in games. Yeah, it's definitely the jungle of Primordian. It is a beautiful jungle. Bullet Ape says, poor game performance on PC is a sin. Look at what can run on a tiny Whittle Switch if coded well. A tiny Whittle Switch. I like that. Nice one. Paradise Decay, Left 4 Dead VR. It could be one of the 3 Valve games. I really think Portal VR is the most obvious. Like, it is so freaking obvious. Chris Gold says he's really tempted by Jet Island, but I really cannot get on with those gray-brown landscapes. Yeah, it is kind of a muted kind of a landscape, but when you're in there, I think it looks better when you're in there than it does like on some of the trailers. And it really has a look of like some type of alien world that it was almost like an alien world that was procedurally generated is kind of what it looks like. Chris says, I want Jet Island, but it looks like a $6 game or a $10 game, not a $20 game. But you got to understand, man, these devs have been working so hard on this stuff. It's hard for them to price a game at $6 because if they get 1,000 people to buy it, you know, that's $6,000, right? But that's not going to pay for all their time and effort, you know? So it's hard. It's hard for a dev these days. Scion VR says, did I get a key for Space Junkies? No, I need to check in with somebody from Ubisoft to try to get into that closed beta on September 26th. I do need to check into that. Hopefully I will remember to check into that. Yeah, so Paradise Decay says they had a load of Portal assets in that new Knuckles playable demo. Exactly. And then also, I mean, you just go back to the lab, go back to robot repair in the lab. That's like straight out of Portal. That could be a small segment from a big time Portal VR game. I really feel we're getting Portal VR. I think it's absolutely no question. Okay, Tesram says the solution, make a game worth $20. But if you talk to I Am Ruts will say Jet Island is absolutely worth $20. You just don't know it yet. And the thing that I will say is for somebody like Master Indie, when you release your game in a month like this, where we are being absolutely bombarded by so many great games, you kind of need a demo or something because it's hard for people to want to kick out $20 because they just don't know what they're getting. I Am Rhett says, when you're going down a crazy steep cliff on a hoverboard and you hit a super speed zone or a bounce zone, it is amazing, trust me. Well, I can say just going up the side of a gigantic mountain and you go boom and you go up the mountain and you're like flying, like you're thousands of feet in the air, and you look down and you see that mountain down there and you see that ocean down there. And you're like, whoa, I'm so freaking high up in the sky. And then, you know, you get that feeling of going, woo, you know, going back down the other way. And for me, it's just kind of like hitting all these different, you know, it's hitting these different ramps and going up and down different ramps. Chris Gould says, a demo of Jet Island may work to swing me. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, though. Oh, Conrad Lawrence has 56 hours in Jet Island. And he says, bro, trust me, it is worth the 20 bones. So I bet Conrad Lawrence, he was probably one of the beta testers for Jet Island and has been playing it for a long time. So he's seen all of the bosses. He's seen all of it. 56 hours already. Hybrid Energy's like, wow, 56 hours. Yeah, he was a beta tester. And I don't even know if I barely have an hour in Jet Island, but I still kind of like it. But I don't know, like when I think about, like, for example, when I'm done with this show today and it's time, like I can get into a VR game. What VR game am I going into? I'm going into Transference, baby. Transference. I mean, Windlands, I love Windlands and I love Transference. but I want to finish Transference off. I feel like I'm close to the end of Transference. I want to finish it off. Frederick Handberg is checking in. He is a beta tester, I believe, for Jet Island as well. Yeah, I just scratched the surface, like barely, absolutely barely scratched the surface. Let me throw on a different trailer, though, because we've been running this trailer for a short minute here. I like these colorful trailers, though. Like if I can find that Trover trailer, the nice, colorful, bright, vibrant trailers. I kind of like that playing in the background. Actually, you know what? I'll throw on this Summer Funland trailer. Let's see if this is kind of bright and cheerful. This is Monad Rock. Here, you know, so many little games. We got to have a show where we just cover all the little games that fall through the cracks. This is another game that falls through the cracks, Summer Funland. I don't know if anybody's checked this out. I had some fun playing this. I need to get back to it. Really liked the underwater sea thing. That was super cool. Frederick Handberg says, I have 10 hours, but my Rift broke last week after I got it, and I'm still waiting. Oh, man, that really sucks. But yeah, so anyone tried Virtual Fight Club? Are you talking about the virtual, the like fighting championship game that just came out? We have a key, actually. I believe VR Roundtable has a key for that, but I just haven't tried it. I Am Rhett says, I am going into Jet Island and Windlands 2 after the show. Chris says, Summer Funland was pretty great and more content is coming. Yeah, there's this Batman mode. You know, there's a couple of different things that are going on. But going back to, like, what I would go into after this show, for me, like what is calling my name? Transference. I'm stuck in a certain part of Transference. I want to put Transference to bed. I've played over 3 hours, I believe, of Transference. I've really liked it, but I kind of want to finish it off. I mean, Windlands 2 is a great game. I want to get back into Windlands 2. But, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. We were talking about Unknown Fate today on the VR Roundtable podcast. There's a game that just got completely lost in the shuffle, you know, by Mars Lit. Unknown Fate, not a terrible game, but goddamn, it got lost in the shuffle. Chiaro and the Elixr of Life, that got lost in the shuffle. I feel bad for Torn. Does anybody remember Torn? I never completely finished Torn. Torn is like a distant memory. It's like I don't even remember Torn. Scion VR says, I'm on a mission to finally finish a game. I am, man. I'm on a mission to finally finish a game. Oh, yeah, the upside down thing. I have seen the upside down thing in Transference. I have seen that. Laser Rob checking in. He's playing Torn. How far are you in on Torn? I was probably like halfway through Torn. That's my problem, man. Every time I get close to finishing a game, something else comes out. And I can tell you guys, I'm playing Creed. I am playing Creed. I can't say anything about it. I got to wait till Tuesday. But I'm playing Creed as well. And it's like, come on, man. I'm trying to finish these games, but I keep getting all these other games. You know, first world problems, absolutely first world problems for me. Hybrid Energy says, I beat Torn. It was awesome. You guys got to get on this, bros. And I Am Rhett says, Torn? I definitely only scratched the surface on that one. So many games. Yeah, there's so many games. We were talking about Blind as well. We were talking about Blind on VR Roundtable today. And Gary and Steve and Chris, like none of them super got into Blind, but I don't know that they spent enough time in it, because you really got to get to the point where you get your cane. You got to get to the point where you get your cane, and you got to deal with some of these puzzles. I mean, I was having a ton of fun in Blind, and I got stuck in this one part in Blind where there's 4 tape recorders. And I'm in this library with these 4 tape recorders, and then there's also the bathroom. And I've looked around the bathroom. I've looked everywhere in the bathroom. I've looked everywhere in the library. I got these 4 tape recorders, and that's where I'm stuck. And Hybrid Energy says, are the puzzles hard? Apparently they are. Yes, apparently they are, because where I've gotten to Blind, I'm stuck. And Paradise Decay says, I never get to finish any games. Well, Paradise, yeah. I mean, Paradise is jumping into every game out there. Paradise, can you think of a game that you finished? Like, what is the last VR game you finished? I'm trying to think, what's the last VR game I finished? You know, guys, I didn't finish Pixel Ripped. Pixel Ripped 1989, one of my favorite games of 2018. And I still haven't finished Pixel Ripped. So I got to get, I need to put that thing to bed. I was at the very end of Pixel Ripped. Conrad Lawrence is hoping he will finish Hellblade this week. I have not finished Hellblade. My pile of shame goes from here to Mars. Like Elon Musk, you don't need to build a special spaceship to Mars. Just climb my pile of shame. It will take you all the way to Mars. No Oh, Paradise Decay is saying Arctica 1 and Wilson's Heart are like the last 2 games he's finished. I know I finished something in the last couple of months, and I was like celebrating on here. I was like, I finished a game, everybody. Oh, Red Matter. I finished Red Matter, and I loved Red Matter. I finished Red Matter, ladies and gentlemen. So I have finished a game. Cheers for me. I have finished a game. I Am Rhett says, sit down and finish Pixel Ripped, Anthony. About 30 minutes if you focus on that last boss. Yeah, see, I think I'm basically at that last boss, and it is some shit. Like, getting through that last boss is not easy, but I loved Pixel Ripped, and I really want to go back to that. What I need, folks, like, we think about superhero capabilities. Of course he finished that one, says Hybrid Energy. Sarcasm. Yeah, Hybrid Energy is not a fan of Red Matter. I loved Red Matter. I thought Red Matter was fantastic. I loved the music in Red Matter. Love the visuals. Just drop dead gorgeous and beautiful. Hybrid, you have a Vive, right? See, you have a Vive and you don't have a Rift. So maybe that's the problem, because maybe if you played it natively on your Rift, maybe it plays a lot better. And if you're playing it through Revive on a Vive, or wait, you have the Samsung or something, maybe that's why you don't like Red Matter, because Red Matter is damn good. Loved Red Matter. But the superhero power that I want to have is the ability to freeze time. Just to freeze time. Like, if I could just freeze time right now and just pick up Pixel Ripped and play it for 7 hours and then restart time. Like, how awesome would that be? The ability to pause time. I don't want to fly. I don't need to fly. I don't need invisibility. I just want to pause time. Then I can finish all these darn games. But why don't we go ahead and bounce over quickly to the Oculus Rift subreddit. We'll see if we can find any little news stories or tidbits to talk about over here. And so on the Oculus Rift subreddit, one of the things that has been gaining a bit of traction, and Fluke actually is in this thread and has been talking about this. This is Open OVR. It's a way for you to play Steam games without using Steam VR. Like, you're bypassing Steam, but somehow you're getting into the Steam games. It says it allows you to play Steam VR, Open VR-based games without the use of Steam VR. And Fluke is in here. And Fluke, you know, he has the #1 comment, 44 points for our boy Fluke. Dude, I've pretty much ditched anything that used hand tracking in Steam VR. On my system, I have a problem that I've not been able to solve, with the hand tracking being a jittery, laggy mess. It happened to him overnight some time ago. So he thinks it's an Oculus update, a Steam update, or a Windows update. He's freaking reinstalled Windows. He's tried various drivers. Oh my God, he must just want to pull his hair out. I really feel for Fluke, because I've been in situations like that where you cannot figure out what the hell is going on. But what he's saying is, when he used this, it allowed him to play some Steam VR games with the hand tracking not having a problem. So it absolutely has to be some kind of weird Steam thing. But yeah, this is Open OVR. So that is something that a lot of people are talking about over there. Let me go back over to chat and see if Fluke might be weighing in on this. Tezram says, can't find Red Matter on Steam. Guess I ain't buying it then. Yeah, it is an exclusive. Chris does say Red Matter worked great with Revive as far as he was concerned. Hybrid Energy has a Vive/Vive Pro at the moment. It wasn't bad. It was just short and not worth the money. Hybrid, you must kind of A-B games, like A to B, because I spent quite a bit of time in Red Matter. A lot of people did say it was super short, but I guess because I'm so meticulous. Like, I love this part of Summer Funland, that underwater thing. But I'm so meticulous in, like, slowly going through the world, exploring every little thing. I like seeing every little texture, every little note that's left behind, you know, all the little stuff that's going on with that. Paradise Decay says, Anthony, did you see Primordian latest trailer? No, there's a new trailer for Primordian. Okay, let's see if I can grab it. That's something I can throw onto the show real quick. Let me look for, let's see, Stone Punk Studios. See, I typically, when I'm looking for trailers, I like to go to the source, directly to Stone Punk Studios. Oh yeah, so there is a new trailer. It just came out 1 day ago. So let me go ahead and get this into 4K video downloader, and then we can throw this onto the stream and check it out. Definitely a fan of Primordian. Looking forward to how Primordian continues to evolve. Super awesome. I hope, like, this one dev that is working on Primordian, like the one major guy, I hope that they've sold enough copies of this game where maybe he can hire like a few helpers to help him out and to bang out some other levels and keep continuing to expand on Primordian. That would be super cool. Okay, so Primordian Part 2, first section. Okay, let me go ahead and grab this, and we can check out this new Primordian trailer. One sec here. And we will throw this into chat. I mean, not chat, but into the live stream. Okay, let's go ahead and check this trailer out. I wish that trailer was a little bit longer so I could eat some more apple. So that's what I was doing. I was getting some apple on during that trailer. Let me turn this down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you can see the visual splendor there. This game is drop dead gorgeous. See that guy right there? That's the character that you play. And at the very beginning of Primordian, those of you that have seen the very, very, very beginning of Primordian, and you're standing in front of like this like giant demon guy, and like you're walking up, these two guys are watching you, and you're like the chosen one and all of that. That is a bad intro. I mean bad as in good. Like, that is a cool intro. I've always liked that intro. Really impressive. Primordian is just an impressive game, period. It's $15. Not a bad buy whatsoever if anybody hasn't checked this out. Definitely one of my favorite games of January 2018. I believe Primordian launched January 2018. And In Death also came out in January 2018. So a couple of real bangers that came out in January that people are still enjoying and playing to this day. So that is Primordian. Okay, Hybrid Energy says, Edge of Nowhere is the only game that runs like junk in Revive ever for me. I am Ruts. Yeah, you know, I think I was playing that when I had Revive. I should try it natively on my Rift, now that I actually have a Rift. We're talking about some games that don't run very good. I Am Ruts got In Death yesterday. Amazing. Dude, In Death is a gamer's game, man. Absolute gamer's game in terms of just really good playability. Really good playability on In Death. And like, if you die in Death, it's your fault. You know, you died because it's your fault, because you weren't doing it good. But let's go ahead and go back to Oculus subreddit. We'll see if we got some other stories here. We were talking about that open OVR. So Archangel Hellfire has been picked up by a competitive league. That's good. VRmasterleague.com. Justin Roland's Accounting coming soon to Rift with 3 times the levels of the original PSVR release. Accounting Plus. Oh, 3 times the levels of the PSVR release, or 3 times the levels of the original accounting, because that's a big difference. Because I believe Accounting Plus, when it came to PSVR, had like another like 40 minutes of content or something. And so if it's 3 times the PSVR version, then that's pretty good. But I don't think we still don't have a date for this, right? The title is misleading. It's not 3 times the original. Yeah, see, it's not 3 times the original PSVR version. I don't know. Yeah, it's 3 times the size of the original accounting. So anyway, there's some confusion over here in this particular thread. And then we got the NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti benchmarks. Again, people are finally getting their hands on this, so we are starting to get some benchmarks on that. VR Roundtable live in an hour from this post. That, of course, is now over with. How can I clean a smelly headset? That is a real problem. That's a sweater right there. Somebody sweats a little too much. Okay, let's take a quick little check at PSVR subreddit. Astrobot rescue mission has gone gold and is being readied for the launch on October 2nd. You know what? I did see in Paradise Decay's EGX video that people were playing Astrobot there. I don't know if Paradise is still in our chat, but Paradise, did you get some hands-on with Astrobot? Curious how that plays. I'm sure it plays exactly like Robots Rescue from the Playroom VR, but just completely expanded and being huge. Oh, Paradise is still here. Yeah, Paradise, did you get a chance to play Astrobot at all? Because I thought it was there at EGX. I thought they had it there. Curious if you had a chance to play that. And that's pretty much it. You know, there is some more Ace Combat news. It's bad news. Apparently, there is even less VR gameplay in Ace Combat than we thought it was. That is very unfortunate there. And Paradise is saying the lines were ridiculous. He couldn't get a chance to play it. No queue for PSVR. Okay, the lines for PSVR were just way too long, and he had to meet some people, so he didn't get a chance to play it. I mean, it's coming out October 2nd, so I guess that's probably a week from Tuesday. So, you know, we have Creed and some other stuff that might be coming this Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday is probably Astrobot. So we do have that. Yeah, and it has been about an hour. I am kind of starving, and we don't have much else to talk about. I could quickly take a look at like Road to VR and stuff, but I don't think there's any news. You know, this is a Sunday fun day. Actually, you know what? We can check Arthands. Is it Arthands or Arthands? I keep calling it Arthands. I don't. That's probably really, really wrong. Here's a website I was talking about yesterday. I keep calling this Arthands, but is it Arthands? Maybe it's Arthands. It's a very weird name. I'm not sure what the deal is with this name. The latest news in VR gaming. The one thing I will say about this is they constantly update this with little tidbits of stuff, and so you don't get very in-depth. They're not going to get very in-depth with stuff, but they really do give you quite a bit of news. Like, see, Virtual Fighting Championship, a lot of people are talking about this. And then there's a mobile AR escape room, Aria's Legacy, which is going to be out on iOS today. There's a new VR survival horror, Red Lucid Nightmare. So anyway, this is a pretty cool website to check out every once in a while. If you guys don't have this bookmarked already, I recommend it, because if you just want like a quick hit on some news, pretty good website there. So I will go back to chat, see what folks are talking about. And at VR Game Rankings, this is VR Mania Q. He's saying, Megaton Rainfall, I bought it thanks to you. It's blowed my mind. Yeah, you know, what about Megaton Rainfall? God, there's a one that we haven't heard about in a while. And see, I was a real fan of Megaton Rainfall in just the designs of the alien ships. I just thought the alien ships were amazing. And I thought it was amazing how it gave you the feeling of really feeling bad for all the little citizens that are running around and screaming, and for every skyscraper that you accidentally smashed, or an alien ship that you destroyed that then crashed into a skyscraper and killed thousands of innocent people. And that was the cool thing about Megaton Rainfall. It really made you feel like you were, you know, you felt bad. You felt guilty. You really felt guilty, which I thought was pretty freaking cool. Conrad Lawrence is asking, Windlands 2, will it work with Revive? I believe it will. I don't know how well it works with Revive, but I do believe that it works with Revive. So some Windlands 2 talk as well. So yeah, guys, I should probably go ahead and bounce out of here. Somehow, some way, we actually made a show that lasted an hour, even though I had literally nothing to talk about. That's amazing. That's what we can do sometimes. Nothing to talk about, but we still make something happen. But yeah, go ahead, check out our website, of course, vrgamerankings.com. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, all those kinds of things. And I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I will be back. Hopefully some actual news stories, maybe some exciting game trailers and some other stuff like that. But either way, we will be back and we will be doing some more stuff tomorrow. So I will see you guys then. Take it easy. Have a great Sunday. Go Seahawks. We need a win. We absolutely need a win. All right. See you guys later. Take it easy. Later.